From kids smuggling drugs across international borders to other kids killing and getting killed in war, we count 10 of the most dangerous jobs for children. Number 10. Bullfighters. Taking a huge risk every day, matadors step into an arena to fight and kill a bull in exchange for a large amount of money. In Spain, it's an art, an honor. In Mexico and other impoverished areas, kids will volunteer to learn the bullfighting profession not only for the award money, but for the fame and thrill of one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Depending on the country, children as young as 6 can enroll in this sport, and many offer bullfighting academies for children also. Number 9. Chimney sweeps. Chimney sweeps may have been around since as early as the 12th century, but the profession really took off during the 17th and 18th century in Britain. Because of their small size, children were perfect for climbing inside the chimney to clean the places adults had more trouble reaching. As a result, many kids were bought from their parents or orphanages and even kidnapped by adult chimney sweeps to be used as free labor. Number 8. Child miners. Tanzania is home to one of the biggest gold-producing areas in the world. This is where most of the gold that goes into making jewelry for the majority of the globe comes from. There, many children working the mines are often bringing home the sole income for the entire family. Often working every day for more than 24 hours at a time, child miners risk their lives working themselves to the bone. Most kids develop health issues due to dust inhalation and mercury poisoning as a result of their labor. Number 7. Bangle makers. Indian glass bangles are extremely popular with tourists, and as a result, quite a lot of children work in tiny shops that have no concern for labor laws whatsoever. Most factories in which bangles are made employ children to cut back on costs, and because many families are stricken with poverty, children work making knickknacks to help support their relatives. These kids lose their childhood and innocence as well as their health, working long hours in glass factories, often developing breathing disorders, asthma, and sometimes even dying as parents avoid getting treatment for illness out of fear the authorities will become involved. Number 6. Tobacco fields. Unfortunately, child labor is not just a problem of the past, nor does it only take place in third world countries. Actually, the Human Rights Watch have reports showing that today, many children are working in tobacco fields in the United States, including Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Most, if not all, of the children working in these tobacco fields experience symptoms of nicotine poisoning, such as dizziness, headaches, and nausea. These kids often end up developing cancer, and many have suffered from cognitive and learning disabilities later in life. Number 5. Firework makers. Sivakasi, India, is a city known for housing over 800 functioning factories known as firework manufacturers. There, almost every single firework is made by a child. Even though Sivakasi has strict child labor laws and the government has tried to intervene, the problem is nowhere near being fixed. Today, most children work in manufactories based in residential homes, following no safety protocols at all. These kids combine chemical ingredients with their bare hands, obviously leading to poisonings and accidental explosions. Number 4. Matchstick dippers. During the Industrial Revolution, many young girls and children worked as matchstick dippers. Basically, they're the ones who dip the matchsticks into white phosphorus without any proper safeguards. Beatings were not only a common occurrence, many children fell victim to phosphorus necrosis of the jaw, a disease caused by contact with white phosphorus which completely covered the girls' work areas. Phossy jaw, as it's also known by, causes infections, ripping of the jaw, and a slow, miserable death. Number 3. Drug runners. Because children are impressionable, cheap, and disposable, both drug dealers and cartels alike love to use children as drug mules, drug transporters, or lookouts. And since children under the age of 18 can't be imprisoned for more than 7 years in Mexico, no matter their crimes, they're perfect for the job. In recent years, the United States immigration has noticed that there has been a huge increase in the number of children being used to transport drugs across the border. Many fall victim to drug abuse, violence, and are sometimes even kidnapped and forced to work for cartels. Number 2. Spy kids. Children spies are not just something from the movies. Actually, spy kids are still being used all over the world today. As recently as 2010, a Russian spy ring was seized by the United States government after federal agents discovered sleeper agents sent to America to influence policymakers and send intelligence reports back home. It was then discovered that many of the spies were also grooming their own children to also become spies and eventually replace them. They were sent to the best schools, taught several languages, and eventually got jobs within the US government. Most of the children suffered from forms of identity crisis as a result of being raised under fake identities. Number 1. Child soldiers. With war comes destruction, leaving physical and emotional scars for everyone unfortunate enough to be touched by it. When people hear of child soldiers, they often think of Africa and all the unmentionable militaries using children to fight wars, but there are actually many more countries using child soldiers dating clear back to World War II. Right now, there are over 200,000 children fighting in places throughout the Middle East like Myanmar and Afghanistan. These kids are forced to face all of the dangers of war, complex emotions, decisions adults even struggle with, scars, and death, completely taking away their childhood.